this or whatever.
This must be how hogs feel on their way to getting slaughtered. Chimed in here.
Yeah, this is going to be a sweaty mess down here very, very quickly. So,
Is this how Filipino dick feels in the ghetto?
oh my gosh. Okay, so
To be alive, if you can't do that.
So we're here for episode 23 of Strong and Petty here at the Whiskey Tango Studio with last time we had Magnus for Magnuson on just yesterday. We had him on here. Truly like the goat of fucking strongman, like one of the absolute legends. And we're like, how can we possibly follow this man? Like, how can we what can we do to continue to raise the bar? And then we decided that we couldn't.
And then
it couldn't
landslide down.
So what we wanted to do was a clean slate. We wanted to lower the bar as low as we possibly could to the very, very bottom. Ladies and gentlemen, James Jeffers and Tristain Hoath.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Well, we had
No,
said.
in all seriousness, though, we have Western Canada's strongest man and Western Canada's third strongest man here. Two of the best pros.
Weren't you second this year?
You get second?
I knew that.
We got the top two. The top. Oh, fuck, my bad. I'm sorry. I thought it was.
Someone's a little salty still. I don't know.
I couldn't see through my veil of tears after the second day of competition, so I couldn't see what was going on. I just left. No, okay. Then I'm sorry. The top two strongest men in Western Canada, Tristain Hoath and James Jeffers here, two of the best pro strongmen coming out of Western Canada right now, and I would say that even if they weren't here.
Well, not with Tristain, obviously.
Fuck, I really, because I even said, I was like, oh man, it's really cool that we have the top two guys, and I was like, but fuck, Tristain got third, he didn't get second, but fuck you, Colton. All right, so anyway, so we got, they're both here for, they're here for two different things here. They're here for the Magnus competition here that's happening tomorrow in Gimli, and then Tristan's also here because he's a cop. And cops like to lift weights too, and he's here for the police and fire games that's happening. You're doing the push-pull there, right?
Push-pull,
yeah.
And I clearly asked, text 2 or 1:30. Tristan's a cop, right?
Yeah. I was like, yes,
right.
He is.
Make sure Tristan's
a cool cop, though. He's actually a crooked cop. So,
do you listen to our podcast?
I have a couple times.
So
I'm sitting between
all my
you
firearms
two.
are registered.
As always.
So we got Jeffers here. So he's Western Canada's strongest man. You're going to be defending your title as the it's weird, like the Magnus qualifier champion.
Yeah. Yes.
But
second year that has happened here in Gimli, so I'm pretty excited to battle it out with you and Tristain and a few other new faces to see. So
who are you looking forward to competing against tomorrow?
Do you know the list?
yeah.
Oh, you know the list?
I know the list.
If there's one thing that Tristain knows, it's every fucking detail about a strongman competition. He's
Jeffers, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeffers, fuck, sorry.
Yeah, you're all twisted up. But, no, Tristain obviously was pretty competitive at Westerns with me, and we got history going back a few years. I think we almost started at the same time.
Turn Jeffers up.
Am I not
Yeah.
talking?
No, keep going.
Are we good? We're
Yeah,
doing
you're
this.
good.
We're doing this without our normal producer again. We have the lovely and talented Danielle helping us. So if anything goes wrong,
Blame her.
blame her. Yeah, absolutely.
Do not go in her DMs for any other reason than blame her.
Yeah, if anything goes wrong, just slide into her DMs and let her know how you feel about her, positive or negative, whatever it might be. Anyway, sorry. So yeah, we because there's some faces that you don't normally compete against, or maybe you've never competed against.
Yeah, no, there's some guys that are coming up from the States that have put up some pretty good numbers on Instagram and in competition. So going against new people, you kind of never know where you're going to be. But you just got to believe in yourself, and I know what I'm capable of. So everyone's coming for second place.
Right. Fuck you.
I'm glad everybody around Jeffers always comes second.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
You're such a gentleman.
So we put out there just for if people had questions to ask Western Canada's strongest man, because actually Tristain was kind of a lucky surprise that you were here today. For some reason, I thought you were competing yesterday in the police and fire thing. So I was going to see if you could come a different whatever. But you're here, so that's great. Yeah. So, but we put a thing out if anybody wanted to ask Jeffers any questions, and I'm going to treat this like it wasn't someone being an asshole, like it was a legitimate question. Okay. But the question just said, "Who is Jeffers?" So let's ask that question. Who is James Jeffers? Because we all know you as the competitor James Jeffers, but who is the man James Jeffers? What makes James Jeffers tick?
Let's go back to
Strongman.
Let's go back to
Oh, man,
childhood.
come on.
No,
Like, what does
I
James
mean,
Jeffers
You
do
have
for
a
work?
dog?
Yeah.
I do have a dog, gnarly
Favorite
French
rom-com?
bulldog.
What's
Yeah,
your favorite
what's-
rom-com?
What's your favorite movie?
Like, why do you love Matthew
Other Guys.
McConaughey?
The Other Guys?
Yeah.
That's a good
Whoa,
movie.
that's your favorite movie?
Yeah.
Other Guys is great.
That's literally my favorite movie.
Wow.
Like anytime the song Creed, There Goes My Hero, I just
Yep.
picture them jumping off
That's,
the
that's
roof.
amazing.
Aim for the bushes.
Yeah.
That's okay. So
TLC quotes.
You know how many other guys' quotes I've dropped in this podcast and no one's caught them?
Yeah.
no, we get them. We just don't laugh at
Have
you.
you
Yeah.
caught them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I watch every.
That's why he said I was funny.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, every Tuesday is awesome. It's a good way to start my work day. Is I literally just turn on the podcast and drive to work. It's about a 30-minute drive to work, so it's a perfect way to
Perfect.
start the day on Tuesdays.
To hear Devin's grating voice. I like it.
My inappropriate jokes.
So okay, so you did the Magnus qualifier last year, and you won the Magnus qualifier, and then you went and shit the bed at the Magnus actual classic. So tell us about that experience a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I didn't do too hot in Iceland. Not coming up with excuses, but I was injured pretty heavily leading into that competition. But you never want to turn down an opportunity like that to go compete in Iceland. It's a country I've always wanted to go to and compete in front of Magnus in his home country and against guys like Maxime and Rongo, all the guys that you see on TV that are idols.
Yep.
That unfortunately I wasn't as competitive as I'd like to be, but it's still a great opportunity. And
It was a weird show too, though, where it was like the events that would normally be really good for you, like say the farmers carries or whatever, was done like in a circle with like uneven ground. It's just like things you can't really necessarily account for.
no,
How
you
was
can't-
the culture out there? Like the Strongman culture in terms of just the general
No,
population?
it was good. It was very, very welcoming. Like the Husafell Stone was one event where the local guys obviously have a huge advantage because they train with it all the time.
Yeah.
And Stefan actually showed me how to put my hands on it and actually how to carry it. He said
shit.
not this way, flip it this way. And like he said, I want to beat everyone at their best, and I don't want to win just on a technicality.
that's
So
nice.
no, they're super
that was really
super
nice of him,
friendly. Yeah.
So then your goal is obviously a second run at Iceland.
Yeah.
What would you? What's going to change this time? What's going to be different this time if you get back there again?
Well, I'll definitely know not to rush onto my farmers because that's where I got it's just a terrible mistake. But and more natural stone pressing because that was such a weird event.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's hard to press. It's hard to train that event because unless you have those stones, every stone's different, right? So
Right.
just little things like that I'd probably do and try and go into it healthy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because you're a guy that like we talk about all the time on here, like the idea of like competing all the time, like competing as much as you possibly can. And when we say that, we typically mean it for like beginner or even to intermediate. But you're a guy who still does that very much, and even Tristan too. Like you just did the K Days competition last weekend, right?
2 weekends ago.
2 weekends ago, and then you had Westerns right before that, and then you had, you know what I mean? So it's just like these are guys who are taking that same philosophy and doing it at a much higher level than like
Amateur weights.
Yeah, amateur guys, and I don't mean to shit on anybody, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying it's a different experience to be like doing these really heavy shows. Even if you're a way stronger guy, your body can still only take like so much punishment before it's like you got to give me a fucking break here. Is that kind of what happened at that? or-
It did. The body caught up to me pretty quick. I think I did 10 or 11 competitions last year. So that was just too much to ask for the body. But I told myself I was going to do the same thing. But here I am competing every weekend this month. Like literally competing here. Next weekend is Saskatchewan Strongest Man. And I got to defend that title.
Are you 2-time Saskatchewan or 1-time?
One.
One?
Just one. Isaac's won it 3 times. So I want to try and break that number.
Is Isaac doing it?
No, he's undecided. Like he's going to be a last minute game day decision.
Does he have some big comps coming up or what?
He's working.
No,
I
he's
think,
kind of
right?
done. He's just working, and
Oh, hey.
he's trying to get into OSG. So, and
Oh, shit, yeah.
I've been doing that this past week too. So, trying to get on OSG lifts. This show, Saskatchewan Strongest Man. Me and Tristan are doing the Shaw Classic on the 19th, 20th, and then we're also doing Canada Strongest Man the 26th and 7th. So,
So retarded.
and like,
Yeah, I'm like,
and
oh,
they're,
I gotta-
they're like heavy, like
insane.
1,000-pound yoke.
Yeah.
The stone run goes up to 450 pounds at Shaw, and then CSM is just brutal
So
events
you gonna
too.
finish that stone run?
That's the goal. Yeah.
Because so the king of the Klondike was what it's called, right? Yeah. So King of the Klondike or SAS Strongest Man, like for you guys, those might be a little bit I don't want to say a day off, but let's say that they're not as challenging as some of the other stuff that you guys have coming up. But when you're talking about stuff like CSM and the Shaw and like just all these fucking insanely heavy shows, like that's fucking brutal, man. Like that's insane. Like even guys like I just saw that Sean unfortunately had to pull out of the Hayes Classic, the Shaw Classic,
The Hayes Classic.
because he's just beat to shit, and like that's just like the unfortunate reality of if you're going as hard as you guys and other guys are going, it's
gonna happen. It's not a matter of when. It's just or not if, but when your body's gonna catch up to you.
So do you have a rehab routine you use weekly that just keeps you being able to compete at that many comps?
Yeah,
I don't know many guys that can compete that many weekends in a row.
Every week I religiously go to a massage therapist. Like a sports guy comes to our gym in Regina, and like it's painful, it's not enjoyable, but he helps me stay together. And then I have a acupuncturist I see in Moose Jaw, and a chiropractor. Almost one of those three every week minimum.
Shit.
And then
Sounds pricey.
like it is, and my benefits is very good at work, so like I'm glad that helps cover it. But that, and then I have like I don't have an ice bath, but I do like contrast showers every day.
Because even like Tristan, you're doing 2 competitions this weekend.
Yeah.
Like these, like it's really hard. Yeah, thanks. 'Cause it's really hard to sort of like, I mean, and again, like maybe the push pull one that you're doing isn't like the top of your priority list, but it's like getting out here and doing it, and like after you do a full competition in Gimli, like it's fucking that's nuts, man. Like I love seeing that like we're finally in the West here getting like the term Western mentality is something that popped into my head or pops into my head that was used in a bad way recently that I didn't appreciate, but like. Fuck you, and if you think the Western mentality is anything besides competing as hard as you can and training hard and doing all these big shows and excelling and doing well and like these guys are just such a prime example of that it's so good to see that the Western mentality is now fucking winning.
So what was the Western
Literally
mentality
one
shot?
Farmstrong Classic.
Yeah.
The Western mentality was that we don't get out and compete enough, and we complain that there's not enough stuff to do, but we don't get out and do it when it is there, and I think that's.
Yeah, it's
Bullshit.
So you're doing push and pull or just bench?
Push pull.
You're doing push pull?
Yeah, both.
Okay.
What
That's more up Beakley's alley of competing.
Powerlifting. Yeah, so it's like a powerlifting style thing, right? So what are you trying to pull?
Aim for the pull. About hoping for 705, 717, probably top pull.
Nice.
Yeah, shouldn't be like nothing too crazy.
Would that be
that'd
be like a winning pull though, right? That'd be.
Yeah, should be a winning pull. Yeah, they were like
yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think opener probably be 660.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Double overhand.
Yeah, double overhand 660.
No, for real.
For real, yeah. What is the most you double overhanded?
Yeah, 661's the most I double overhanded.
Ooh, that makes me mad. Fuck. Fuck, not even close to that. I don't know. Like, why would you put me on the spot like that? That's fucking, what an uncool thing to do that was. Fuck. Like 450? I don't know. Like not even fucking close to that. Like, yeah. Fuck you, Devin.
Which are you competing in the Fire Games first?
No, so Gimli's tomorrow.
So you're gonna give it all in Gimli.
So yeah, 100% of Gimli, and then what's left over for push pull.
Yeah,
Just enough to win the push pull.
Just enough to win the push pull, and like hopefully not kill myself, so that I can still peak properly for Shaw like 2 weeks after that.
So
yeah, 2 comps in 2 days.
Yeah.
Easy
Speaking of the Shaw a little bit, what are you guys thinking about that coming up? How's the prep been for it? How's the competition itself looking for you guys?
So far good. Looking forward to my stones are finally getting up there, so I'm actually
you had a great performance at Westerns and stuff. I was really like it was awesome to see that you smashed that last one, and after the farm strong didn't go as well for you for the stones.
2 PRs at Westerns for stones. Never hit a 400 stone and hit 2 on Westerns. So,
because it was 440, right? That was the last one.
Yeah,
that's
440.
Awesome, man.
So stones are actually coming up there now. My overhead pressing should be good. I've been doing comp weight for everything, so should get decent on that. I don't have a chance to train wheelbarrow, so that's
Not a
Like, because you don't have a
I
wheelbarrow?
don't have one, so it's just like
I own one at my gym.
oh.
If all you guys are out this weekend.
If you want to do on
Perfect.
Monday, if you want to stay
Yeah,
after
if
competing
you're
for 2
staying
days.
Monday.
Well, I was gonna say we'll just head out there Sunday after I compete push pull, and I don't leave till 10 o'clock at night. So
I have a wheelbarrow out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine the grip one is probably the least of your concerns.
yeah,
for-
like yoke will be good. 1,000-pound yoke, I'm not too worried about.
You just did 1,000 pounds at Klondike, didn't you?
Well, let's quote 1,000 pounds. But yeah,
listed.
yeah. I mean, if I could run
see.
1,000-pound yoke like that in 13 seconds at the Shaw, I think I'm set. But
You're
yeah,
doing pretty well for yourself.
Yeah,
there,
it was
yeah.
it
Got
was a
some-
little lighter than 1,000 pounds.
Okay, fair enough.
Some competition for Mitchell Hooper.
Yeah, no shit.
It was one of those, the car deadlift was 900 in the hands, but the U80 guys pull it type of.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
What about you? What do you think about for the Shaw?
Yoke is kind of soul crushing, and 1,000 pounds I've never done. I've hit like 9 something in training, but I'm not really looking forward to it because it's just gonna shrink me.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the stones for sure I'm excited for. The sandbag wheelbarrow should be good for me. I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
been
where you load the sandbags, then you carry the wheelbarrow? Is
yeah,
that
it's
what it
like
is? Oh, okay.
it's like load 2 bags, lift, push, load another bag, push, load another bag, and like up to like 350 bags. So like not terribly heavy, but the wheelbarrow is about 850 pounds in the hands.
Yikers.
Shit.
And then it's been helping. It's helped me in training. Melissa, like Peacock, she's my training partner, and she's competing there as well. So we've been doing the same event training, and that's kind of been.
You guys have a very wholesome, funny friendship on,
on
Instagram that I really enjoy seeing. Like it's just
Like
it's
she's fucking down
you
near.
and your wife too, Keelan. Like you guys all have a very funny thing there.
We're all there, but she's down near benching more than me and
Well, I was
squatting
going
more
to
than
say
me.
she's stronger than most men.
What was that
Yeah.
cambered bar squat she hit?
500.
500. Like what the
Yeah.
fuck? That is insane. Like
I don't
that's
squat that.
No,
I just you see
I'm
the
comfortable
numbers.
enough with my sexuality. So
She hits these numbers that you're just like, what is going on with this fucking woman? But that's
Yeah.
amazing. And I mean, even,
and she does it all. She has arthritis.
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah,
Fuck.
she does it all having arthritis.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, which is the same. Like my daughter has the same one she has. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
really? Oh,
I use
okay.
her as examples sometimes. My daughter, like, look, this girl can achieve. You can do things. This girl can achieve this. Like,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
amazing.
Now, if you two aren't aware, if you have anything wrong with you ever and you want it out there, Devin will share it.
she's posted it that she has.
If you have any like
Yeah.
medical issues,
Me-
or, like,
mental health,
like your
mailing
address.
address,
Yeah, your
social
address.
insurance,
These are all
Devin will
things
get
that
it out
Devin
there
would love
for
to
you.
talk about on the podcast for you guys.
Us country folks, we just say it the way it is.
It's a very small town thing that we talked about before, where Devin's just like, oh yeah, you like I know this woman. He gives first name, last name, her address. Like this is where she works. And it's just like
She had a miscarriage in 2019.
Wasn't my kid.
so then we got
Otherwise,
the
it would have been an abortion.
you guys got your shot, and then right after that a CSM.
yeah, the weekend after. Yeah,
I'm actually kind of enjoying this sitting here, like just like thinking about like how horrible your guys is.
well, like at least the good thing about CSM, you know, and Tristan, you've been there. You were there in 2021, right?
2021.
Did you go to CSM your first year that you were competing?
Yeah, well, technically my first year competing was 2020, but COVID shut everything down.
Right.
So like my first actual pro season was
COVID.
2021.
That's crazy. Because somebody asked us if it's like a different person than you, but somebody asked us if it was realistic to be at CSM 3 years after starting Strongman, and I was like, not really. And then I was like, but there is an example.
Well, I think like Jeffers, you started we both started in 2018.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And so he went 2022. I went to CSM in 2021. So yeah, 3 years after I started,
Yeah.
I was at CSM.
But you were
Well,
already,
all
you're
you-
already
but-
a big dude.
But all you
leading
have to
into
do
it.
is be
No, I started at 200
6'4"
I
and
started
have
two-
25 inch
30
hands.
pounds.
and-
Like you only started weight training in 2018.
No, I was training before that. So I played like university, like junior and university football, and then lost a bunch of weight, did a bodybuilding show, and then
Really?
decided at that point that I was like, hey, I want to be strong. Yeah.
No, that's literally him. He played the high. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How'd you do in the bodybuilding show?
There's 4 guys, and I got 4th. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like,
Yeah.
time to pivot.
Total, I lost 130 pounds in
Really?
like just
Wow.
over
So
a
why
year.
did you? Was it that because football's over, you needed to do something? You went into
Yeah.
bodybuilding. So
I knew I needed to lose weight.
yeah.
Okay.
And so I was like, you know what? I'm just on this path. Might as well go down the bodybuilding route.
We kind of did the same. I did Strongman, then I blew my shoulder, and I couldn't train. I was waiting for surgery. And I'm like, well, I'll do bodybuilding. So
Yeah.
I lost 75 pounds and absolutely hated that shit.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it was.
would
and I don't
never.
look good in a bikini. Yeah.
Yeah, once football was done for me, all I ever trained for in my life was football. And I didn't know how to train just to train. So I needed something to compete in. And just bodybuilding's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Strongman has grown. This was like back in 06. Strongman has grown. And it's more accessible now and whatnot. And powerlifting was a lot more underground then. So it was just like, well, I'll train for a bodybuilding show. I hated every second of it. I hated the dieting even more. And then, to be honest, just being around the people wasn't my kind of people. And so then dabbled my toe into strongman and then did powerlifting forever. But it was literally the exact same path. And you're just kind of, your hands are empty. You're like, I love being in the gym, but what am I pushing myself for?
Right.
Yeah.
Like I need the threat of being cut. I need a recruit coming in and maybe taking my spot. I need an end date. I need a season to start so I can stop this bullshit. And start
Yeah. What did you weigh when you stopped playing football?
So I stopped at like my heaviest I got at football, like my last season, I was 330.
Holy shit.
And then like at the end of the football season, like when I started dieting, I
Can
was
you
down
teach
to
Tyler how to get to
313.
330?
I know how. I just won't do it. You were three. And what are you now? You're like 330 now. Probably,
325, yeah.
But a different 330 before.
But
I'm assuming.
way different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we have after the Shaw, we got CSM coming up, which is a 2-day competition this year instead of 3, I think, right?
Yeah.
But same place and everything.
Same place, same
St.
yeah.
Anne de
So like
Beaupré?
same.
Only
same,
8 events though.
8 events,
Not
2
10.
days, and we're across the street. Like we're not in the rodeo grounds. They're literally built another rodeo grounds across the street in behind the church.
Strongman's so sick over there.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's like,
It's another
well,
level, eh?
we don't do it here. Let's just move across the street.
Yeah, we'll build something for it. They, like 3 days was a lot last year. Although I will say that I didn't really feel like as crushed as I thought I was going to. I thought I was going to be like devastated at the end of it. But I guess if you take a bunch of zeros, that's kind of how it goes. But,
Yeah.
but like the 2 days would be like a nice tight show. I think 3 days was probably a little too
3 days, yeah,
too
it
stretched
was
out.
stretched out, and then
just the cost of it too. Like I'm putting the athletes up and
and
stuff.
then I
you know?
competed at another competition the day after CSM last year.
Yeah, I
remember
declined
seeing
that
that.
one.
How'd you do it? You did well. At that
I
one,
think I
did
got
you?
like 5th or 6th, so like not good, but I could barely walk. Like,
Yeah.
16 events in 4 days is not
Yeah.
ideal.
Can't figure out how.
But
you
I
ever-
know I could do it.
Yeah.
JF offered me that one, and I couldn't I just couldn't be away from work any longer. But man, when that last day rolled around, like when CSM finished and you guys still had one more day, I was like, I felt so good, man. I was just like, because I was worried. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be like bummed out. Like everyone else is gonna be going to compete, and I'm gonna be going home. No, I was
You
so
didn't-
thrilled.
You didn't miss out.
No, I was like, I get to fucking drink tonight and just like chill out and whatever. And yeah, it was really. And then you guys had to get up and like
Drive
get in
like
the
2
car
hours.
and go to the next place. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to the airport. I'm going home. But it was that was a pretty fucking bonkers heavy show too, though.
It was like
The truck pull and everything. I
the
think,
truck,
right?
truck pull, like a 800-pound tire flip to a 1,000-pound tire flip, heavy stone run again up to the 420. It was just dumbbell for reps. Let's just don't talk about it.
Is that your bad event?
Oh, I hate it's such a technical event, and I just can't figure it out. Like the strength is there, I think, but I just can't find out the technique properly, and it's in every goddamn show.
And who's Terry's your coach, right?
Yeah,
And who won the circus dumbbell when he did the Arnold's?
I think he did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he did a seminar here and he told us how
Yeah.
he increased his circus dumbbell. I'm gonna guess wrong. I swear it was like 100 pounds in a matter of like 8 weeks or something stupid like that.
Yeah, it was.
But he told us what he went through mentally to do that. What he did every day to get to that
With a
thing.
spray paint bottle.
Yeah.
He told me to do it, and I haven't done it. So
He told
I can't figure this thing
I
out.
should probably
He told me how to
fucking do
do it, but I mean, yeah, fuck him.
he's told
right?
us that too, and I was like, that's great advice, and then I haven't done it once.
no, I know.
It's just this like idea that you
told
have,
me
like,
how to get
you
there,
have like
but
an
I'm
empty
just
bottle
not
and you're just
doing it.
practicing the technique over and
Yeah,
over
like
again. I was like,
1,000 times
In his
He's like-
office.
Yeah,
He's like,
I
at
was
work,
like,
just do it.
that's-
I'm like,
that's
yeah, I
smart.
wear. You know how silly that would look at work wearing FR coveralls, all geared up, like with a.
He had a
spray paint
timer on
can?
his phone. I think every 30 minutes or every hour it went
Yeah,
off, and he
it's
stood up
dumb,
and he
dude.
did like a bunch of reps. He sat back down.
well, that's why he's a better athlete than I'll ever be.
That's like around West Side and Elite FTS, where guys were all geared lifters.
Yeah.
They'd always be walking around and just be walking down a hallway, tucking your elbows, flaring your elbows, tucking just to get
that
used to that motion for the shirt.
Yeah.
I used to get used to sitting back with powerlifting because it's such a different squat than a conventional squat. Every time I stood up from like couch, toilet, chair, like put my heels in front of my knees
Oh yeah.
and just get used. So I'm like, if I shit 3-4 times a day, I'm on my couch 3-4 times a day, I'm in a chair. I'm just getting those reps
Extra
in.
reps.
Yeah.
But it would like in an office setting or a
Did
work
you say that you
setting.
shit 3 or 4 times in a day?
Yeah. Well, when I was bigger, for sure. Like
You guys don't shit
Are you
3
less
times a
or
day?
more?
Less
What?
than 4 times in
What?
a day.
Minimum
Tristan, did you
4.
shit 4 times in a day?
Usually 3.
Oh man, I could. Yeah, I'm not even
I
gonna say
get
him.
two good ones in a day.
I mean, I have my first one by 20 after 5 in the morning, so I get a leg up
I'm
on.
the same.
Yeah.
I get up and it's to the shitter.
Yeah.
4 times.
100%.
Maybe-
I'm
maybe
often
not
like
eating enough, I guess.
I'm often 6 to 8 times.
Okay,
okay,
that's excessive.
Yeah, ask my wife. Yeah,
That's excessive.
hence the reason I'm doing
Danielle.
this stomach protocol.
How many times do you shit in a day?
Pretty girls don't poop.
1 or 2. Okay, there you
Pretty
go.
girls
That's
don't poop,
that's a
man, it's
normal
science.
amount. Me and Danielle are in the same boat. Okay. Well, anyway, so Tristan, for CSM for you, this is like you had a year in between now because you had an unfortunate bicep tear at last year's Westerns at 2022, right?
Yeah.
So you've had the year of recovery, and obviously you've come back in great shape and stronger than before. I would say, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So how do you feel with that year in between? Because Jeffers is doing back to back here, but you've had kind of that year where you didn't get to go. Does that does that when you saw guys going and you weren't able to go because for whatever reason you hurt, didn't make it or whatever? Like, does that fire you up more? Does it make you is this year feel like more important to you than the first year, or like do you feel you have something to prove?
I mean, I think everybody's kind of got something to prove each time they go back. I know, like going back, I got 5th my first time,
Which is crazy. That's already
Yeah.
like a huge to show up the first time and get the top half is insane.
Yeah, so I'm still aiming. Like I'd love to podium, like 100%. It's the goal. So it's 100%. Like I mean, Shaw. We'll see. Like hopefully, like after Shaw, I'm still feeling good, and I think CSM will probably be like the last heavy show I do for the year.
Right.
So it's all in for that one.
Yeah.
And I mean the events, my squats finally come up too. So everything else is on the up. So I should be able to like get points and everything, and I should be competitive in the majority of the.
So would
events.
you have won Westerns last year without the bicep tear?
Last year won? No.
No, I'm just kidding.
No. No.
just
No,
stirring the pot here.
Sean last year was like ahead of everybody.
Yeah, I could do the points. But
Sean was pretty dominant.
Would you have been
last
top 3?
me and Sean.
Last year, I made a couple of mistakes, and
I think there was-
even if I would have finished the Farmers and the Tire, I think even then with points, I think I still would have been 4th behind Tyler.
I think there was 10 points between first and second or something like that.
Sean had that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
No.
Did he?
No.
No, they were like first and second were pretty
It
close.
was like half a point, I think.
I know how that feels because I did the MSM thing. And it was 10 points. So I understand where you're.
me and Sean were actually tied going into the last event.
And he beat you by 10 points in the last event.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
crushed
he-
him. Jeffers
pulled
zeroed
one
the
out.
tire flip.
He pulled. Jeffers stubbed his toe.
That tire flip was fucked that year, though.
Oh, it was.
That was what you tore your bicep on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
It wasn't tested until the morning of.
Is
and-
anything tested in Strongman?
well,
just the athletes.
just the athletes.
The tire was fucked because it was brand new.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
shit.
you couldn't. There was no ridge. Like there's no wear on the tire.
So those fingertips. And then you're really.
Yeah. So
I
the
get
first
it.
couple guys who went, they were fucked because they were just like, what the fuck? Like they're just like they couldn't even like whatever. And then I remember, Liam.
Yeah.
He figured out something where he was just like ramming his chest into it and was getting a little bit of a bump up, and then he put his fingers under that. And I was like, okay, I think that I can do that. So I gave that a shot, and that halfway worked.
That's where that Diefenbaugh method
Yeah.
could maybe come in handy
Yeah.
if you
Well,
practice.
but there was nothing. You couldn't
Like
even
the wide grip one.
the wide
you
chest.
couldn't get nothing. Like there was nothing to grab
No.
onto, and that was the thing. So a couple guys like, I mean, there was like, I think that both you guys just sort of grabbed it and figured it out
Yeah.
eventually, right? But they got stronger hands than I got, so I had to figure out something else that it was not working besides that. We'll shuffle around there. So okay, so that's your last one, CSM for the season. Is that your last one too?
Hopefully not. No. I mean, if all goes well tomorrow,
Well,
I'll be.
potentially the
Yeah, potentially. We'll see how tomorrow goes, and then. But yeah.
Magnus show.
Yeah. I mean, last year we only had one spot. They said there was only one spot open from Magnus, but there was 2. So now I think, Colton went last year, right? Yeah. So this year, though, I think there is only one because Fort McMurray is another qualifier. So there's, depending how tomorrow goes, I'm also trying to qualify for OSG as well. Like the past week, I've been
You
matching
doing
out.
that too, T?
No, I can't get. I think OSG's above or like past what I'm going to be doing for this year.
Oh, okay.
I'll probably I'm still signed up for the Fort McMurray Magnus show.
Oh, are you doing that one too? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still signed up for that one. So
When
we'll
is
see.
that one?
The 9th and 10th of September.
Interesting. Oh, so it's a little
week
bit,
after long weekend. So I get a week break after CSM, and then
are you doing that September 16th thing too?
yeah. So we're doing that show, the Big Rig Showcase as
All right.
well.
Oh yeah. By the way, the competition was canceled, so I'll be here for Deadlift for Dreams.
Which comp?
You don't even know. This is the one that I said I wouldn't be there for Deadlift for Dreams for. Yeah.
So time to start fundraising.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I got back to work on that.
Brick House is beating all of us right now in fundraising.
They're nerds.
You
Nerds.
literally probably got the nerdiest guy.
Nerds-
I love you, Throw.
Yeah.
Nerds try hard, and cool guys don't. And my gym's full of cool guys, so we just.
For the sake of Spencer, can we maybe be less cool?
for the sick kid, yeah. Yeah, we'll stop being cool in a minute. We'll start raising some money. We'll get that figured out. So then the Magnus will be that has to be the end of the season for you if you get that show then, right? Like
No,
in
so
November. What the fuck?
No,
Come
no.
on, man. Like,
Magnus is in November, and then OSG is in December.
oh,
So like
shit.
that, and like OSG, that's obviously a stepping stone to Giants Live, which is a stepping stone to World's Strongest Man. It's in December this year in West Virginia. So the events are good. It's like extremely heavy, but you have to qualify first. So I'm still working on my submission videos to do that. And
Now, because I'm certain, sorry to interrupt, that we will get asked what OSG is. Can we just break that down?
Yeah.
so OSG is official strongman games, and essentially it's like World's Strongest Man for weight class athletes. And the open men, the top 3 get invited to Giants Live.
Okay.
So that's like,
So it's a direct line to World's Strongest Man if
Yeah,
you're ready for it.
if you win a Giants Live contest, that invites you to Worlds.
Okay.
So like I think Isaac Mays got second at OSG once. I think Melissa might have podiumed once too, and Derek Cox. I don't know if you know who that. Yeah, he was podium one year for 105. So like a lot of Canadian athletes have been there.
Family.
His family,
Yeah, he decided the family route. So he took a step back, and that's what he's focusing on.
Where's this guy from? I don't
So he
know.
chose unhappiness.
Alberta.
Oh, okay.
Unhappiness, yeah.
He was
Yeah.
one of the top 105s in the country.
Oh, okay.
Easily, yeah. In the world, yeah.
Got second, yeah.
Wow.
So that's in December, and
He was just before he was up there when Mace
Get your
was coming up, right?
get your mic if you want to talk.
He was up there when Mace was coming up, right?
Yeah.
Like Derek was like a year or two kind of ahead of him in the advancement, if I'm correct.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Is he? So he's around our age or older, or is he?
I don't.
Yeah, he's
30,
like, I think he's
mid-30s?
like
Well, what is
early
our
to
age?
mid 30s.
How old are you guys?
Yeah,
Tristan's
31.
the youngest guy, or you guys are both younger.
How old are you?
31.
31.
Fucking father time here, man. I mean, I'm 35, going 36. Yeah.
Couple of old guys, not like us cool guys down
Birthdates,
here.
I'll give
Us
it to
young cool guys.
Yeah.
33 and younger.
How many CPAPs at
Yeah, one for sure.
Does everybody here use CPAP?
Yeah, when I walked to
I
the
don't-
airport today, they're like, "Oh yeah, laptops and CPAPs out of the bags." Yeah, definitely being profiled.
I'm the only one here who's on a CPAP.
I don't have one.
I went and did testing for it.
You don't use one, really?
I don't. I'm gonna like this off season. That's the goal.
Oh,
is to go
okay,
get
okay.
one. But
You've
yeah,
never-
I haven't had issues for the most part up until like this summer with like packing on the extra like 15 pounds. I was like
Right.
definitely noticed it. So
Yeah.
See, I
Yeah.
went and did my test, and I need one, but I'm so claustrophobic. I'd never made it through. And I just ripped my mask and threw it across the room.
You-
And I can't.
Pillows, man.
I can't.
Yeah,
I
little
can't
nose
breathe.
guy.
Yeah,
I
that's,
can't
Yeah.
that's
breathe
all
through
I
my nose.
use.
You use the nose one?
Yeah, just that's all that came with it, and like I want to get a full face mask, but I don't know how it'd seal with a beard. But
It doesn't. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't. work
I
very
can't breathe
well.
through my nose, so the nose one's out of the question.
I have to keep mine really.
Yeah.
Devin has a history of drug use, so he doesn't.
Deviated.
The nose
Just
doesn't
so
work
many
too well.
deviated septums.
well, mine works pretty good. So
Literally never.
Tubes down your throat.
The thing was a banana, I'd have no problem. According to my Justin Trudeau post, I mean, holy
Yeah.
shit. I don't know which one of you cocksuckers made that.
Yeah, shouts out Sophie Trudeau for leaving Justin Trudeau.
Yeah,
That's
man. Yeah.
that's sick.
Yeah, that's just too busy fucking the country for the last 8 years. Should've
Well, that's what somebody said. They were like, "This is why things have been so fucked because he's
Yeah.
just like this."
He's been fucking the country for years and not his wife.
He's stressed out about stuff at home and he's taking it out on all of us. That's
yeah,
not
holy
fucking fair.
shit. I want to read her book. We're not Trudeau fans.
yeah,
I am, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, you probably are.
there's not very many in the West.
No. And if there are, they should leave.
well, that's Manitoba, Alberta, and Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Here,
is a pretty pretty down home kind of group here. I
Yeah.
think.
I feel like you guys are more my people. That's good.
I'd say so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. Great.
Jeffers is very similar. He's
Let's
from
talk politics and religion now.
Moose Jaw and St. Malo probably have very similar political alignments, I would think.
I would think so.
Probably.
Religious backgrounds, maybe. No, you were a religious guy growing up? No. You?
Yeah, well, I was forced into Catholic school for
Catholic.
elementary school, and then at that point, so I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm not Catholic, but yeah.
Yeah, no,
I
I
only went to church once because it was a free buffet.
Dude, we have a church in my gym, so every Sunday night, once a month, we do a potluck, and so everybody brings food and you just pick
That's how you would win over the heathens like Jeffers.
Yeah,
Just get it.
so I'd save his soul.
It's the only reason I went to church with my grandparents is because after we'd always have lunch. And it was just like free, like homemade, like grandma food. I was like,
You would only
I'll
show-
show up. Yeah.
You'd only show up for communion so you could eat the little piece of bread.
yeah.
My grandpa lived next door to the church, so I had no choice. He'd be like, "We're going," and I was just like, he'd just pick me up, like grab my hand, and just take me there, and I was like, "Fuck!" How's my grandpa so much stronger than me?
Literally, the sole purpose Tyler got this size. Reject his grandpa.
Yeah. So, a question that someone posed for an earlier podcast that we never got to that I wanted to ask, and I think this would be a good time to do with the two guests here. So, are you guys familiar with the knockout game? You might be as a cop.
No.
Okay, so it's a thing in the States where just gangs of hoodlums will just like walk past somebody, and then it's like on a dare or whatever, they just knock somebody out cold.
Why,
in
there
the
were people
street.
dying from it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that in itself is not good. I don't condone that. But it led me to a question that I was thinking about, which is how, if you had four males, how old could they all be where you could still beat up all four of them? Because, like, let's say they're 10. Obviously, you can beat up 4 10-year-olds. But can you beat up 4 14-year-olds? Could you beat up 4 16-year-olds? What's the number you think where you would be
What's
like,
their background
I'm
in training, though?
They're just 4 hood-ass kids.
Some of these 16-year-old MMA kids are ridiculous.
No, nothing specific. They're just 4 kids on the street.
Regular kids.
Just absolutely. From the high school across, whatever.
We'll start with the cop.
How many kids could you beat up?
No.
Great question.
Yeah, how many kids have you beat up?
Let's say in this purely hypothetical situation, what's the oldest 4 kids that you could beat up?
Let's not add reason.
Is
No,
he in
no,
your
nothing
form
is
or
that,
out?
Yeah. Keep the, yeah.
No, they're all white kids. They're all white.
They're
kids.
all white,
Yeah.
We're in small town Alberta,
Yeah,
Saskatchewan, Manitoba.
We're all in St. Malo at Devin's gym, and 4 kids across you. What's the oldest that they can be? Tristan?
I'm gonna say like 4 kids, probably like the mid-teens.
The mid-teens?
I don't think you're getting like if you're going up against adults, unless you're getting lucky.
Wait, are you going as old as like 17? You think
I think like
4, 17?
14 to 17, like probably 15 to 17, somewhere around there. So
Are you taking into account the fact that most kids are pussies these days, or are you just sort of just
yeah, that's
generalizing?
you.
Yeah,
like
Okay.
I mean, if you're taking like the average kid nowadays, I was like,
Yeah,
how many of them
right.
actually do physical activity?
Right, that's
so.
worth-
But it was
that's
like at the
worth
same
noting,
time,
too.
it was like there's still 4 of them.
Right. Yeah, that's worth noting too.
Yeah.
Beeks?
I think early 20s.
Early 20s.
Very early 20s.
Wow, confidence.
I mean, you've worked in bars with me.
Yeah.
These kids are
But
waifs.
4 though.
You take the first one out, the next 3 are shit scared. And then you already won that battle.
I guess.
You know what I
guess,
mean?
I guess the mental game is important.
Mental
to it,
warfare, for sure. Definitely like middle, late teens.
Yeah.
And could probably push to like 21.
Wow. I don't think I have that in me, but Devin, what do you got?
I've seen your slap. You just like sprinkler.
3 Stooges shit.
How many? I wouldn't say I'm not that confident as Beaks. I would say mid to high teens.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's.
What's the move? What are you using?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm just hitting the first one so hard. I'm hitting that first one so hard it'll send the message, and then I'm gonna pick up the first one and beat the second one with him.
Okay.
Yeah. No, not quite. But I think I would probably back myself in the corner, and then only one can come at me at a time.
Okay.
You put yourself in a
So
corner
you have a strategy to
with
this.
my back against the wall. Only one can come at me.
Okay. Well, let me fuck
So
with
you
this a
can
little
knock
bit
them
here,
down
then.
from there.
Let's say that you're like standing, like you're center here.
Yeah.
And there's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, the advantage I have is I can literally see all 4.
You're like a lizard that's like.
that
looking
was
all the
one
directions.
advantage I had in boxing. Yeah, that was one advantage, but I have wicked peripherals. Yeah, so I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't say in the 20s. I ain't that confident.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would definitely kick him in the balls. We're street fighting. I'll bite you. I don't give a shit, man. I ain't losing.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good.
No weapons? Like, do they have weapons?
Nothing. It's just strictly like you're in the
Just
you're in
your meat
the,
cleavers.
You're in the sauna of the Y, and these 4 kids attack you.
You're all naked.
It's like Eastern Promises. Like, have you seen that movie?
I would probably say mid to early teens. Same thing. I'm not really. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I'm trying to go back to like when I was like 15 fighting like my younger brother. He was 2 years younger, and like I could kick the shit out of him, but that was only one of them.
Yeah.
So four
guys changes it.
It does.
Yeah.
No older than 18, I'd say.
Me and Jan have a funny thing that we talk about. Speaking of you being a lover and not a fighter, where you sent me a message because when me and Tristan shared a hotel for this Armstrong, which was a great experience, and you and Isaac shared one, I think. And it was like you were like, yeah, we both had a great time. You said something along the lines of like, I guess if Isaac wants to hear me and Keelan clapping cheeks, which. They made us laugh because it's like Keelan's clapping your cheeks too. Then, and we say that's become like a running joke in our house that we talk about a lot. Is the idea of you getting your cheeks clapped by Keelan.
Isaac was so drunk that one night, like I don't think he heard anything either. So.
Oh, but there was cheek clapping going on.
So if Jeffers ever takes his shirt off and there's like fingerprint bruises,
yeah, from being held from behind. Wow,
she's pretty strong.
she's pretty.
She's doing some lifting.
She's starting to, yeah, she did compete in Strong Woman for 1 year.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Yeah,
actually.
she won, actually, she won 2019 provincials.
What the fuck? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then she like broke her like pinky toe like 2 weeks out before national, so then she just stopped.
Oh, wow. Okay, well,
And then she like,
I figured she was strong enough that she must have some sort of like a base she's working off of because she started squatting 200 pounds and stuff.
yeah, she just started to come back, and she's training with me at my local gym.
The helicopter squat.
Yo, yeah, yeah. I mean,
little work to do.
The best thing is you just make sure you point it out too. I'm like, oh, I'm just waiting for it now.
yeah, no. So she's starting to come back, and she would rather film me than compete anymore. So that's fine because she always makes good videos of all of us athletes. That really like
Yeah,
we're all sponsored by SBD,
rocks,
so she made some pretty sweet videos of all of us at Farmstrong. So
she's her shit always like the photos are always great. Like the photos from Westerns are always like $1 million. Like the stuff that she was like. Even so, before I was with SBD, I was like sitting on the outside looking in, like, oh, I wish I had nice pictures. But now that I'm in there, it really makes us be like, we always have a photographer at our shows now too, because it's just like it makes the shows like everyone wants to see themselves look fucking cool, right? And it's like if you have a good photographer, everything you do in Strongman looks so fucking cool, and it's just it makes a huge difference to have somebody who knows what they're doing, like Keelan does, because she just crushes it every time.
she does, and she makes awesome hype videos of all of us. And I literally sometimes go back on my Westerns video in 22 and just rewatch it. It just gets me fired up.
Yeah, I like in the Farmstrong video too. You can see there's maybe in the throwing. I think you can hear her be like, "Come on, Tyler!" Like while she's filming. So I was like, oh, sick. Double duty, which is nice. Yeah, so she's competition's not on the horizon for her.
I don't think so. Maybe next year I can try and twist her arm a little bit, but she would have to cut weight, and she was miserable when she was cutting weight. And the one time she was making weight in Regina, then we live in Moose Jaw, so it was about a 40-minute drive, and it's about 35 degrees out in midsummer, and she was like sweating pounds out, and she had sweaters on, and I said, "Okay, you know what? I'm gonna suffer with you." I left the windows up in the truck, cranked it to 30 degrees. Turned off my air-conditioned seat and was sweating with her. And then she was like 4 pounds over, so it wasn't even necessary. 4 pounds under.
Oh, shit.
And it was for nothing, but I mean, better safe than sorry.
I've lived with the dieting wife.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah, she's done.
My meals are overcooked. They're not weighed properly. My clothes aren't even clean on time. I had to find my own fucking underwear one time.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it wasn't even folded.
That is unbelievable.
Nothing. My freaking underwear wasn't even ironed the one time. I almost had it.
One of these days she's gonna come over here and tell the story of her bodybuilding competition and the fucking.
Oh, when she split her face open.
Can you tell the story right now? Because now that I've said it, can you just come here and tell the story?
Yeah, jump on over here.
Come on, come tell the story. You take my mic. No one wants to hear Devin tell the story.
Because we got a cop here, so it's like PTSD for me. Because I thought I was going to jail.
Then you can go right back to that seat afterwards.
Yeah,
Tell the story.
get over here. Yeah.
I'll sit behind you.
Because I thought I was going to jail for sure that day.
Yeah, you.
I thought I was for surely going to jail, yeah.
Okay, so you're prepping for your competition. Go.
There's no video this time, so you're lucky.
Yeah. Okay, I was
Close to the mic.
prepping for my competition. It was the day before, the morning before the show. And I woke up, went to the washroom, and I just felt like I was going to pass out. So I got scared. I ran to our room to tell Devin that I was going to pass out. But while I was running, I passed out and I ran like, I don't know how many more feet.
Well, yeah, so she came into the room and said, I'm going to pass. It was 5 a.m. I wake up, I can't see past my nose. I didn't have my contacts and I can't see. And I just see her in a full sprint, but she's out. And she just kept on sprinting while she was out. And then face planted into the corner of our wooden bed frame.
Like, there are teeth marks in the bed frame.
Yeah, we have teeth marks dug into. So she's out cold, lying on the floor. I jump out because I tried jumping. You try going from lying down to jumping across the bed to catch her. I didn't have enough time, so I didn't get there in time. And she's lying on the floor, and I can see her face is just split open. And I'm like, holy shit. And I just pick her up, and I lay her in the bed.
That's when I woke up.
Yeah, she's just
and
bleeding.
Then he's like, don't look at your face. Like, what the
Well, she's doing bikini competing. Just a little bit. Just don't look in the mirror. we can fix this.
There's makeup for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
There wasn't enough makeup.
No.
So then he got me in the vehicle, took me to the hospital. It took.
We had the kids, and our girls were young. So I called my mom, like, you need to meet me at the highway now. It's 5 a.m. I'm like, get in your vehicle, meet me at the highway now. So, because their road intersects with the highway. So I just pulled over and shot the kids in their vehicle at 5 a.m. And yeah, you continue on.
Yeah, and then we got to the hospital. It took, 3 hours just to have someone come and give me gauze for my face.
Yeah, no painkillers, no gauze,
And it was
no
a paramedic.
fluids.
Actually, the paramedic had to help me because no one else.
The paramedic was sitting there. He's like, have you not been helped? Nope. So he came and brought her some juice, like some orange juice, because her sugars had already dropped. That's why she passed out.
Yeah.
And the doctor took, how long were we in Steinbeck?
5 or 6 hours.
Before they even looked at her.
Yeah, and then they gave me some anxiety meds to calm me down, and then they're like, "Okay, we need to do."
Well, no,
surgery.
because so before the doc's like, I can stitch you back together, but it's not gonna look pretty. And she was so stressed out, she's like, just stitch you back together. I'm like, no, like the asshole. Like, I mean, whatever. I love you regardless, but let's not have you all messed up here. Like,
the doctor's like, "This is your face we're talking about."
He's bargaining with her, like, I can do it, but it's not gonna be good. She's like, I don't care, just stitch me back. He's like, I've done this, but I'm not a plaster. She's like, I don't care. He gives her some anxiety meds. About 15 minutes later, she's like, I'll go to Winnipeg.
Then I went to Winnipeg, got like 100 stitches just in my lip and inside my mouth. And then I had
they stitched your face, your lip, so that when I was watching, they took her gums and they were separated from her teeth. I could see up inside her teeth in the whole front of her mouth. And they stitched her gums to her lips to her gums to hold everything back together.
Yeah.
And it was some like pretty boy freaking surgeon, and the guy was just gorgeous. He wasn't laughing at my jokes, and I was pissed off at him. I'm like, keep your pretty face away from my wife, you piece of shit.
Did Devin give you a break on any of your chores during that time?
Oh God.
She still had supper ready by midnight.
Yeah. No.
No.
But then what happened with the competition?
Yeah. That night I got back to the hotel at like 10. I had to drink through a straw to fill up, like, so I wasn't flat and look like shit. The next morning I had to quickly get tanned, check in.
You
or
slept
whatever.
4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to get tanned because usually you do that the night before. Then I had to go and see the judges to make sure my suit was good, all that, and
Just a mangled face.
Because you had to be weighed in the day before. So we called our coach, which was Darren Melling. He called the judge, like, special circumstances in plastic surgery, she can't come. Can we weigh in the next morning? And they're like, yeah, we'll make an exception, obviously. So I was blending shit up even at the hospital, like fruit in a blender and stuff, just to give her carbs to carve up, because you need to carb up the day before. Yeah. So she just stuck a straw to the one side. And the whole time I'm just don't pull out the comp. We can still figure this out. Like, I was very competitive back then.
Yeah. Yeah. And then whatever, I ended up with second, but
You tied for first.
tied for first with points, but
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. With her face, like,
it all worked out.
we kept ice packs on her between the shows because it was just the swallowing it so bad already. Because it's just. But so what you didn't say is when we got to the hospital in Steinbeck, I'm in a muscle shirt and I was competing then, so I was bigger than I am now, and tattoos, and I'm in a muscle shirt, and I roll into the room or the emergency room, and there's just cops first thing in the morning, and I'm like, oh, and we sit down. And they're like, what happened to you? And she's like, I fell. And I'm like, I'm going to jail. Like, and they just look at me like, she fell. Like, I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, these cops look at me like, I don't want to go to jail, man. Like, I really want to go to jail. Like, your wife comes in split wide open. What happened? She fell. Yeah.
As he turns down Papa Love Mama by Garth Brooks.
Give it to him. What would you say if a guy like me rolls in there in a muscle shirt full of tattoos and my wife's face is split open and they're like, what happened? She fell. What's your instant as a cop? Are you questioning that?
Usually when people are like, they're like, my husband hit me. It's like, okay, like look at the size. I was like, yeah, that's probably didn't happen. But yeah, like showing up with the major injury like that, I was like, I'd probably question it. You'd probably get talked to. Yeah,
A good stern talking to from Officer Tristan.
Did y'all just fucking tell me?
Thanks for telling
tell
the
him,
story.
tell him the
Daniel.
doorknob's too high.
If you want this blended fruit thing I gave you. Yeah, so she ended up tying for first, which is really... So she got messages from... Because I think Janae had posted, she was with Rich Piana at the time.
Yeah.
So they went all over the place. They went, I guess they call it viral type thing. She had girls message her from the States. Everywhere is like, I can't believe you competed. How did you even make the stage? Because most people are like, oh, my tan sucks. I'm not getting on stage.
Yeah. With the what's what I'm looking for? With your approval, we'll probably post the picture.
Yeah, we
to
can
the
post
page
it. Yeah.
because it's fucking sick. Like it's just like you posing with the big stitches in your face. Like it's really like if you're even though it's bikini, I'm not saying whatever. If you're an athlete of any kind and you see that, it's going to be something that you're just like, fuck, that's awesome, because it's just like you said, like people dip out of competitions for a lot less than that.
Yeah,
a lot less. And I wanted to ask that a little bit about you guys too, because you guys are pros at the like Western pros. I think you guys are both very familiar faces like in your provinces, and Jeffers a little more over here too now that you kind of started coming and competing here a little bit more and everything. And I think that kind of people get tired of hearing my voice say the same kind of stuff as advice to amateurs and stuff. But what I was curious to you guys is what are you guys telling your athlete, or not your athletes, but the people that are in your provinces, the guys who are coming up, maybe the guys who were kind of like almost ready for breaking out of the sort of like SCC amateur sort of thing, and like they're getting ready to kind of be at that pro level, or they want to be at least. What are you guys telling those people? Like what's the advice that you're giving them? What's like the go-to shit that Tristan or Jeffers is telling somebody when it's almost that time?
My biggest thing that I've been saying, like ever since I really got into the sport, was to compete as often as you're allowed to. Like I know financially maybe some people can't, or physically they just get injured or whatever, but I would always say compete as often as you can, because you gain so much experience. And my coach might disagree, but what does he know, right? But he, like I've been competing so much that he says like we're not really building strength, but I mean, I've probably done 7 or 8 different pressing events this year, and I've hit PRs all the time, and I'm not building, like I'm not in a peak block or a strength block. I'm just competing so much that I'm getting all this experience in different events. So I think that is carrying over for sure. That would be my biggest piece of advice is honestly compete as much as you can, because if you make mistakes at a low level show where it doesn't really matter if you make a mistake, I'd rather that happen now than at a show where you're trying to qualify for World Strongest
try all
Man.
the new things at the small shows.
Yeah.
If you want a new technique, try it there.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean that's probably the only thing I could really say is compete as often as you can.
And you're like a testament to that too, because you I met you when you came over and just did a random like the castle one that we had here at Brick House.
Yeah, that was in
and that was one where you were trying everything new. That's why you screwed things up.
No, you got beat by somebody who was better. You got beat by somebody who was better. That's all that happened.
You know what? A funny story about that competition. I'll never forget it. And I tell other
I was
people,
reffing that one. I think.
Yeah. So after Tyler beat me,
that's right,
by like a little margin.
No, it was a pretty.
We call that a cunt hair.
Okay,
it was a healthy margin.
After he beat me, he came up to me. He's like, shook my hand. I'm pretty impressed. I would like to coach you. I'm like, I almost beat you. So why would I want to get coached?
I don't remember that happening, but I do believe it though.
No, speaking of that win,
businessman.
Morris was the first time you beat Tyler.
No.
There was a time before that.
Like Westerns.
Oh, at Westerns.
I've been like 6 times in a row now.
There was a buzz that you weren't going to come on the show until it was firmly established that you were better than him.
Okay, no.
Well, it's there's until we see that sweeping victory of what is it, like we're 6-1 or something?
Yeah.
Well, if it was 7-0, I believe that. But it's just like
you're sick. There
was at least one day where I was better. So that's
best of 15. So
well, there's only 6 events at Morris.
Yeah.
And I won all of them.
Yeah. Did you tie on the deadlift with Pat, or did you beat Pat by one rep?
I beat everyone.
Okay, because Pat was like
Fucking
one rep
guy.
behind you in the deadlift that
Because
night.
I got to go last in every event.
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're not familiar with how strongman scoring goes,
We actually touched on that.
We just talked
Oh.
about that.
Because we had that at our provincials this
There was
weekend.
a point of contention a few times with people not understanding how the strongman scoring system works.
I
at our
like your
provincials.
blunt commenting on our YouTube videos to our local strongman guys.
oh yeah,
You won't tear your hands if you just grip harder.
Well, that was like practically copied and pasted from any comment that he makes to Colton in our group chat that we
Oh, yeah?
have. So
I do that every time he complains about farmers.
Well, we had the frame last year at MSM, and everybody tore their hands.
yeah.
And no one made the frame, and I ran the whole frame, and I felt my hand tear a little bit, about 10 feet. I felt my hand let go, and I'm like, well, if I just let go, it'll tear. So I just
Yeah.
held it, ran, and I was fine.
Is it like
Well,
it's the
great
same
advice for
farmers,
people
too,
who aren't
that
great at
yeah.
grip. Just hold on
just
to
you
it
turn
longer.
it into a frame?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all my farmers actually turn. So I have
Yeah.
4 matching farmers frames for women and men, so I can run every comp
Yeah.
more efficiently.
Keep your eyes open for those at nationals.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, they're rough. They're rough. T, what about you though, man? What about guys that are coming up in Alberta or who are approaching or getting ready to that level of being like trying to get on the circuit or trying to get to to compete at Westerns and be competitive and things like that?
I'm gonna echo Jeffers. Same thing. Compete as much as you can. Also, don't just stick yourself at the lower level shows. You gotta be able to like. I'm applauding some of the amateurs because I mean some of them did like Farm Strong, they did Westerns, and they did K Days. So at least they're stepping up. But I was like, out of Western Canada, we had one guy go to the like amateur North Americas. Only one guy put in.
Right.
Right, and I was like talking. I messaged a handful of guys, and I was like, why didn't you guys put in?
Right.
I was like top 12 or top 10 went, and I was like, your guys' deadlift and log would have been, would have qualified you, right? So I was like, our amateur guys got to stop being scared or, taking a step back and actually like go out there and do things.
We kind of saw that with Westerns too, where it was supposed to be a 2-day competition that like shed the first half or whatever it was before getting on to the second day, and there just wasn't enough guys, so they just had everybody go up, make it to the second day because there just wasn't. I think most of the pros who should have been there were there.
Yeah.
But a lot of the amateurs who just didn't take the opportunity to compete against the pros and get to that.
Do you think because the 105s was the same day that hindered that quite a bit too?
No, I don't think so. Honestly, I think that there was
There's a couple guys.
maybe 3
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
there wasn't a ton of crossover there. I don't think.
No.
You probably would have picked up Isaac, Sam.
I would say
and
the
Liam.
podium
And
and
Liam.
the
Pat
podium and
might have
Pat.
went and done it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the podium and Pat would have probably done it. But I shouldn't say that. I don't know a lot of the guys who did the 105, but I think that there was enough guys that weren't doing either show.
Yeah.
That should have filled out the Western show a little more. It was the first time that they tried to do that, like that 2-day where you lose some of the guys after the first competition. They do that out east all the time, and this was the first opportunity where we could do that, where it wasn't in that like really tight window that they do at Regina. But next year, hopefully,
And that was the first time it's been open too.
right.
like,
Yeah, it's always been an
it's always
invite deal.
qualified.
It's
Yeah.
always been pros would get first dib, and then like they would just personally invite the top level amateurs,
Right.
which was always like Brad Provic
Yeah.
and like
I competed with them
Steven
in
and-
2012 at
Right.
Westerns
So-
with Brad and Scott and them, and it was, Scott was just another animal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that was
just
before you guys started. That he was, I guess he still trains with you.
Yeah, actually, he was in the gym the other day, and he looked at me and he just gave me a thumbs up because I broke his deadlift record. and it's
I seen that. Yeah,
been there
probably
for
the
like
most
9 years.
meaningful thumbs up you get
Yeah.
in your life.
Yeah,
though.
it is,
That's-
bro. I was
that means a lot. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
was yours suited?
Yeah,
Was his suited?
yeah.
His was at WSM.
Yeah, he was a
But his
suited
was
guy. Yeah.
no straps.
No way.
Yeah, I think he just did a mixed grip.
Double overhand.
shit.
Double overhand.
Double
Tyler.
Not double over.
Everybody's got you beat.
Did
Danielle, what's the most you've double overhanded? 455?
Probably the same as me, probably. Yeah. T, when you were doing the King of the Klondike, were you at the Mosaic one too? Were you?
Yeah, I was at Mosaic. I was
let
judging
it
both
have
Mosaic. Yeah.
Was there for the King of the Klondike show? Was there a lot of guys stepping up for that one, or could there have been more, or was it all right, or in terms of the?
Well, there was only 10 of us, and there were supposed to be 16.
Oh, okay.
So there were 6 guys. 2 pros dropped out, but then 4 amateurs dropped out for whatever reason. And then even a couple of guys who did the Mosaic show should have been doing the pro-am.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just they're going for comfortability instead of stepping out and
Right.
actually trying to prove themselves. And it really shows when one guy, I was like, you win all the events on an amateur show.
Right.
I was like, at that point, I was like, you probably should. I was like,
ready
you
to
need to
come
be
over.
going to the pro shows. I was like,
Yeah.
well, you're not going to be beating the
Right.
pros, but you'll still be like top of the amateurs.
And there's obviously like glory is like a strong word, but there's like more glory in like losing to a bunch of pros than beating a bunch of AMs, I think. You know what I mean? Like it's the same deal when you're like as a very beginner and you do your novice show, like that's great.
Yeah.
But jump in with the other AMs and get beat a bunch of times, and that means more. And then the same thing when you go to the pro circuit and stuff. I'm spacing on his name and I feel so bad, but the shorter guy who did Westerns as well as the Farm Strong competition. Sir smiles a lot.
Brent?
Darcy.
No.
Gary. Well,
Gary.
He didn't do Westerns.
He did.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's right. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so he's a guy where he really stands out to me as like not physically built for what your ideal of what strongman would be, but fuck does he show up and just give her though. Like the Farm Strong show was a really heavy show, and Westerns was a tough one too, especially just like that first stone to load. Like for guys like that were his height, like that was probably the hardest stone was the very first one because it's just like it was like 50, what was it, or 60 inches? 60 inches. Yeah, it was nuts. It was super high. And but I like seeing those guys that are like it's like a lot of respect for those guys or Dan or whoever it might be that are just like showing up and just getting their heads kicked in over and over again and but a little less each time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they get a little better every time that they do it and then kind of because that's sort of what you just described is sort of the position that I was in last year and Dan's in this year where you're doing whether it was CASA or SCC or whatever and you're winning all those events and all those shows, but you're just not quite at that pro level yet, but you're in this kind of like limbo in between. And that's kind of a fun place to be though too, where it's like you go to these shows and no one's expecting you, like you just however you do is great.
Yeah.
And,
no pressure.
And the pressure's low and you get to learn a whole bunch of new shit and meet a whole bunch of new people and it's like I have a lot of respect for those guys who are just really putting it all out there, and especially because they all happen to be like under 6 feet too.
Yeah.
And they just show the fuck up and really crush it.
Maybe sometimes it's a pride thing if they're worried about zeroing too many events. Like I just shared something on my Instagram. It's from 4 years ago. I zeroed a 265 log.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And overhead has never been a good thing for me, but now I'm coming out and still not on the world level, but I can rep out a 335 log. So it's just like I was never afraid to take zeros. Last year at CSM, I zeroed 30% of the events, and I was still top 10.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, all you can do is improve a little bit every year, every competition, stay consistent, and
I mean that's it. It's just like it's when if you show up and if you don't show up, you don't do those things. Yeah. Like if you didn't let's just say you just didn't go to CSM because you're like, oh, I might zero some of these events. Like first of all, you missed out on the what for some people is a once in a lifetime experience of going to CSM in the first place. Like some people don't get to go, and that's the way it is. But also you miss the experience of like competing against like fucking the top guys like Max and Joey and fucking Drawinski and all those guys who are just like watching them compete is like a learning experience in itself. Watching what they're doing when they're sitting in the back, watching all this shit like these are guys who are not you're not going to see at like an SCC show or whatever, and they're doing things that you're like, why is he doing that? And you got to find out, and then you take that with you. Yeah, I always use the example of at Westerns last year. Maze had his rock climbing shoes upside down. Yeah. And I was like, "Why are you doing that?" And he didn't want to tell me, but he did. He didn't want to tell me anybody, but he said, he's like, "Yeah, it makes it more grippy." And it's like if I just not been there that day,
you would have never known.
I would never have known, and I've told every Manitoba competitor that's done a vehicle pull since then to do that.
At Westerns, there was rock climbing shoes everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah, exactly, everywhere. Because now the secret's out, right? Yeah. So it's those things that you just can't like. It's intangible. You can't get enough of that kind of stuff if you're trying to be a good strongman or a great strongman or whatever.
I think one thing I want to ask before we wrap up, because we're right near the end here, and I love hearing different answers because strongman has so many different events that suit different people. If you could put together the perfect 5 event show for you, like completely tailor-made to you, what would your 5 events be?
I've already done this.
We've done this on the show, but for you guys,
okay, press, I guess. Log press for reps is coming up for me, so that'd be kind of the least damaging press event for me, or maybe yoke press actually, because you never really see that much. And I did one competition.
Everyone would just suck at it,
and everyone would suck at it. Like Colton's brutal, and he's terrible at it. But like his strength was there, but it's like a stability thing, right? Yeah. So like that's something that's not too many people do. So I'd throw the yoke press in there, like a max carry farmers for like 30 feet. That was actually in a competition last year. That was pretty fun. A deadlift ladder, like a 4 or 5 bar deadlift ladder, because about speed and how much you can pull. Sandbag toss because Colton sucks at it.
We're really banking on Colton signing up for this show.
And then seated arm over arm, truck pull, whatever, anything you're seated pulling, and then
You like that one, hey?
Yeah,
I fucking hate that one.
yeah.
That's tomorrow.
That's
I know that. That's why I messaged Devin. I was like, it'd be better than that. A
Harness.
harness pull.
I always preferred seated over harness
Oh
pull.
man,
Yeah,
no.
I love it.
I'm way better at it. I don't know why. I never had as much weight behind me, but
That's me
I just
trying to
find
fit
seated way
technique,
better.
yeah.
I tried to flex my political influence and didn't fucking work.
And quick
so.
hands too.
Quick hands. That's like I have actually my truck pull from last year's gimme has like 1.3 million views on TikTok,
That
and I was
blew up on Instagram too.
and I was going so fast, and people were like messaging me like, "Holy shit, how do you move?" I'm like, "Well, that's how you do it properly." And then I'd probably finish a competition with Atlas Stone, like a heavy stone run. That'd be a good 5 for me. I think.
Colton sucks at stones.
No, he's actually getting good.
Shit.
He's not as good as me, but he's getting good.
Yeah,
You guys are pretty
slower,
much
right?
1 second slower at Westerns.
Is that what it was?
Oh,
That's what they say.
Yeah.
That's what the stopwatch said.
That's what someone said.
So it could have been 3.
I don't know.
What are yours, Tristan?
I mean, it's scary because Jeffers and I are like pretty similar for events. I do like a log press for reps. Farmers, either like max distance or like heavyweight for. Like I did 455 a hand farmers for 25 feet. So like max farmers for like 30 feet would be pretty good for me. I'd like to do a yoke as well. Pretty decent yoke. Sandbag toss, and then stones are getting up there. I mean, power stairs pretty good too.
Power stairs
Yeah.
are good.
I have those at home too.
There we go.
Yeah, for anybody below 6'2", those show suck
Yeah,
shit.
and we're making our not like amateurs for provincials do a max or like Denny Stone for
No way.
their 5th event. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
Denny Stone walk.
I've never done
For
that.
max distance?
Like 30 feet. Yeah.
So wait, it's Denny Stone 30 feet for time?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Well,
Fuck.
they're like timer distance, but yeah.
It's gonna be real heavy or what?
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, then like it's like 90% or whatever for heavyweights, but then there's like a challenge at the end for like actual Denny Stone weight, and like Zone's putting it on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and there's like money for that one. So
Sick.
if you get more than I think it's 3 feet, whoever gets the furthest more than 3 feet gets a challenge. So,
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, well, I think with that, I got to go back to work after this, so we're going to leave it right there. Best of luck to
All three of you.
Tristan at the Magna Show tomorrow and at the Police and Fire Games. And
Thank you.
Well, best luck to all three of you tomorrow.
you just keep on keeping on there, Jeffers. And thanks to both these guys for coming in and hanging out with us for the hour here. We really appreciate it. It's always nice to sit and chat with friends.
Yeah, for sure.
So at Tristain Hoath, right?
Tristan JH.
Tristan JH, James _ Jeffers _ Strongman _ 69, right?
Something like that, yeah. Maybe Dots, James Dot.
Deadlift for Dreams is coming up. Manitoba Strongest Man and Woman. We're getting real close to that one too by the time this comes out. Maybe we're even the week of.
Probably a week over, week past.
Yeah, we might be done. So fuck you.
Yeah.
If it's the week of, come out to Grunthal, check it out. It's gonna be an awesome day out there. It's part of the Hanover Ag Fair.
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of other shit going on there and stuff too. If you hate Strongman, come out and just check out the Ag Fair. And Deadlift for Dreams, keep raising money, keep doing what you're doing there.
Yep.
Manitoba Strongman, Strong and Petty, keep following, doing all that shit, and keep clapping them cheeks there, Jeffers.
Keep clapping.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.